So nervous. First time I've ever called into anything. And
Before you go on, just take a breath. Take two if you need, and there's no rush, so please take your time.
Well, when I went to secondary school, straight away, a lot of boys and girls in my year groups were heavily sexualised or knew a lot about sexual behaviours, sexual content, and it was very openly spoken about. And it was okay for a 13-year-old boy to ask the girl sat next to him, including myself, what bra are you wearing? This was at 13. So, and it led to some horrendous experiences for me when I was 15. I was sexually assaulted by someone I went to school with, and he was 15. It led to a lot of bad decisions that I made for many years. And I've never, ever, ever spoken about it until I told about a year ago to my husband. I never spoke about it in fear that if anyone who really knew me, who I am now, not who I was when I was at school, ever found out that these horrendous things happened to me, they would never want to know me. And I am now a mother. I have a 3-year-old son. And I see a lot of things on social media the last few days about educate your son. And that's why I wanted to call. I feel as a mother, it's my duty to make sure that I raise my son to respect all human beings. And when he does see something, I hope that when he is 10, 12, 15, 18, 25, 35, whatever age he is, that he never is put in a situation like the other children, because let's face it, we were children at school, in those similar situations. And that if he is, though, not only have I taught him well enough to say no and to stand up for whoever is there, especially if it's a young girl, that he's not alone, that we would have raised a village of young boys and girls willing to say, no, that's wrong. Because let's face it, not everyone watches or hears the news or takes it on. There'll be people oblivious to this, and they won't influence the younger generations that we have. And that would be my biggest message and my biggest ask. If you have young children in your lives, boys or girls, but especially boys, whether they're your son, they're your nephew, they're your friends' children, raise them to be allies to us, to women, to young girls. Because if one person I knew had at any point in my school life while I was bullied and victimised, and where boys used that power to manipulate me for sexual gratification, I would be a very different person with very different experiences. But I was alone, like so many other women. So that's why I wanted to call in Eddie.
They all went unpunished?
Every single one. Even the teachers at the time turned a blind eye to a lot of the things, not even just my own, but to a lot of other children, a lot of our teenagers. And I'm shaking because the anger I have, that there was moments where probably I think someone could have stood up for me or in those situations. But even the girls went along with it. The girls took... My experience is I was bullied because of a really awful accident that happened to me, and everyone thought it was funny to victimise me. But this one boy at 15 years old used that to say, if you pretend to go out with me and, give me sexual gratification, then I'll tell everyone you're my girlfriend and all the bullying will stop. And I said no. So he told everyone anyway. And they believed him over me. So for 4 years after that, I faced horrendous bullying on top of what I was already getting.
Were you able to say anything to your parents or guardians?
No. Because they would either probably have been, it would have broken them Like, they would probably have gone down to the school and demanded it change.
But you were broken.
I still am. It's really hard. This tragedy has just made us. I know I'm never alone in this now. Because so many women are outpouring their awful experiences. But I didn't. Why would teachers believe me if my own school friends didn't? Well, they weren't even my friends, but school peers, they wouldn't believe me because they believed the boy that was spreading all the rumours.
What was it like unburdening yourself to your husband?
Really strange. I was really, really quite scared that he would just walk and say, but the fact he got so angry and was like, if I'd have been in your school and I'd have been, I would never have accepted that. And I would have stuck up for you. And he had in his past, in his school, stuck up for friends and girls under similar situations. And I just think, what kind of school did you go to that I didn't? And the fact that he totally backed me. And I thought about going to therapy, and I have been to therapy. I've never had the courage to talk about it. This is the first time I've ever spoken about it, apart from my husband. It's a big step for me. But I don't think I need to anymore, because the idea, for me, the biggest fear was that no one would ever want to know me. But by his reaction, that it was never, ever, ever going to be my fault. And he has still, to this day, never looked at me any different from the day I met him. That's all the assurance I need. But there are millions of women and young girls that don't have that. I'm very lucky to have that and found that in him. And I just want to make sure that I do absolutely justice by my son and bring him up to respect everyone that is got a good heart, that is kind, that raises other people up and never brings anyone down. And I hope that when it comes to it, he's not the only person in that room doing that, that there are other people that are like-minded like me or have heard my message and will do that with the young children that they know. And I just think that's really important. There's a fantastic company called the Strong Girls Club. And she is trying to raise young girls to be brave and bold and strong. And you haven't got to buy anything or know about her to be a part of that club. Every woman, every young girl is a part of that club already. What a message. And I just think if that had been around when I was a child, what could that have done for me? But I have it now, and I make sure my niece has it, and young girls that I know that have that, because they all need to have a voice, and we have to make sure that we do the right thing by them.
And now you can breathe again.
I know, I'm shaking. I've never shook so much in my life.
I'm not surprised.
It's really, I really hope that all the women that, whether they've shared their stories or have not, they know they're not alone.
Well,
but
exactly.
And that we can fight this, but that it's never their fault. But I still find myself blaming me sometimes.
Well, of course it's not your fault, and I know you understand that on several levels, but in many ways, obviously, you don't feel it. I wanted to say a couple of things, though. First of all, you married well. That's a great husband you obviously have there. And secondly, he married well.
Thank you.
He's got a great wife. And in the course of our short conversation, and I know Evelyn's not your real name, but whatever your real name is, honestly, you're the kind of person I'd like to be when I grow up. Fantastically impressive person. And thank you very much. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Have another evening.
Take care.
Bye-bye.